My husband, 28M, cheated on me, 28F. Now what? So this is a long story and kind of complicated, but I'll try my best. So my husband works night shift and usually sleeps during the day while I'm up with our 4 daughters. Anyway, we were planning on traveling to see my family who live 2 states away and be there for about 4 days. I drive up there while he sleeps in the car. That first night up there he was acting weird, so while the kids were asleep we decided to hang out on the front porch. While we were out there he just came out and said that he slept with someone else and wanted a divorce. I asked him who it was and when it happened. He said that it was his best friend's fiancée and he slept with her the night before. He said they had just started talking a week before and that he was in love with her and was leaving our family to go be with her. Let's just say I was devastated and couldn't understand how he could just walk away from our 4 kids and 8 years of marriage for a girl he was apparently in love with of only a week. Anyways, he did this while we were up visiting my family and was texting her the whole time. While we were up there I kept trying to make him see reason, but he wasn't. I asked if his best friend knew that they slept together and he said no. So I told him that they needed to let the best friend know before we get back or I was going to. It isn't fair to him or me that they wanted to be selfish and hurtful. So we come back home and neither of them have told him, so I tell them they have an hour and my husband should find somewhere else to go. She ends up not telling the best friend and neither does my husband. So I have a long conversation with the best friend and find out he already suspected they had something going on. When the best friend confronted the girl, she said that she didn't love my husband and didn't want to leave the best friend. So now that my husband saw that she was lying the whole time and didn't mean it, he came to me that night saying he had nowhere to go and saw reason and that I was the love of his life. And he made a huge mistake and didn't want a divorce anymore. Now I just feel like the second choice. I think if we were just dating or didn't have kids the choice would be a lot easier, but that's not the case. He still lives here with me and the kids. He tells me all these nice things and that I'm the only one he wants and he doesn't even want to be with her and it was the worst decision he's ever made. All I think about anymore is what if it's all a lie and I don't want to get hurt and fooled again. But I have 4 daughters all under the age of 8 and currently don't have a job. I seem to always be thinking about all the what ifs all day long. I don't know what to do or even think anymore. Kick his butt to the curb, friend. You deserve much better in a relationship, let alone a marriage. He's made his bed, he gets to lie in it. You feel like second place because you are second place. He cheated and thought he was in love with this woman after only a week of talking? He cheated on you, his wife of 8 years, with his best friend's fiancé? Is there a bigger sign that he has zero loyalty? He will do this again. He's coming back because he doesn't think he has any other option right now, but also because he thinks you don't have any options. He thinks you'll take him back and then he can get back to the business of cheating. Would you want your daughters to take back a guy in this position? Talk to a lawyer. Figure out an escape plan. Figure out a support network. Do not let this guy back in your life. He's shown you who he is. Believe him. Little add-on of story. He left his work that night to go over to her house, that's how he slept with her. They were planning on running away together. The best friend broke up with her and moved out, leaving with their kids. He says in his phone also shows that they haven't been talking with each other, but he could be hiding it somehow. He left his night shift job to get a day shift one closer to our house. I really appreciate all the advice and comments. He seems to think I won't leave him. Already been putting in job applications that fit with my daughter's school schedule. He would be with her now if she wanted him. If you stay with him, he will do this again. Contact a lawyer and take out the trash. He's lying to you because she doesn't want him. He went on a trip with you and told you he slept with her 24 hours prior. He was in love and leaving you. If she was interested still, he would have left you and your children high and dry. There's no true remorse. She'll click her fingers and he'll dump you again or leave you when the next one comes along. Bluntly, but he's with you because he has nowhere to go and thinks he can worm his way back in. Send him packing, for your own self-respect. He didn't think of you and his kids after a week of sleeping with some else. You show your girls that you don't ever let some treat you with that level of disrespect. Leave him honestly. There's no return from that. Considering the situation you're in, I would put him in a separate bedroom and let him stay until you have an exit plan in place. Consider counseling if you want to try to save the marriage, but honestly, he's blowing smoke up your ass. Get a job or start training for a job that you want. Once you graduate and have the job you want, kick his butt to the curb and make him pay child support. My 36F partner, 38M, screams and hits things when angry. Is this domestic violence? My 36F partner, 38M, and I have been together for 4 years. Throughout the relationship he's had anger issues where once every 4 months or so when his patience is very low or when he's really tired and we get into an argument he becomes very violent and starts screaming at the top of his lungs, hitting himself, nearby furniture, walls and throwing whatever he can find across the room. Please note he has never laid a finger on me. If we happen to be driving when that happens he starts driving erratically making me scared for my life. Fast forward to today. I am currently 4 months pregnant with a child that he says he has wanted all his life. I made him swear that he would control his outbursts especially when I'm pregnant as they terrify me. Well, the other day we got into an argument and I was particularly hormonal and snappy, not proud of it but you know. Bitchy pregnant woman vibe, and he lost it. He started screaming like I've never heard him scream. He ripped off the t-shirt he had on with his bare hands ripping it to pieces, threw a bar stool across the living room, broke my flower pots and starting hitting the walls repeatedly. I was so scared I was shaking like a leaf and ran into the bathroom to lock myself in as I was scared he would hurt me. He now tells me that I started it, and that everybody has their limits, but that I know him, and that I should know he would never hurt me directly. I feel completely heartbroken that he would act so violently and scare me like this when I'm pregnant with his child. I told him I'm pretty sure this counts as domestic violence and abuse, and he says that I'm the abuser since I started it, and it's just a normal couple argue that everybody goes through. I'm pregnant, I'm scared, I feel betrayed and gaslighted. Need an external view on this. Is this bad? Is this domestic violence? Thank you so much. Too long did not read. My 36F partner, 38M, screams, hits and breaks things when angry, but not me directly. He tells me it's not abuse. Not sure what to do and I'm now 4 months pregnant and scared. Edit. I am a very empathetic person and understand that life in the human experience is not always black and white. The main reason I'm asking this question to others today is because the dilemma in my mind is this just a childhood trauma coming up as anger issues that could be fixed with anger management therapy? As he is an awesome supportive partner 99% of the time outside of his outbursts. Or am I really in potential danger of a serious DV incident? Edit 2. His anger fits are not only directed at me. He lost his previous job because of it, broke a bus shelter glass after getting dumped as a teenager and destroyed boxes of medical equipment in his previous job's stockroom when he received some bad news about something. When he goes cuckoo, it can happen anytime, anywhere. He was raised by his mom who reacted this way all his childhood. She would break his things when he acted poorly, throw objects across the room, etc. Thank you to everyone who replied to my post. Your messages have helped me more than you know. Trauma response and love for the person, or what's left of it, has a funny way of clouding one's judgment. Again, thank you folded hands. I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. And I hate to say it, but it is absolutely domestic violence. Even if he hasn't laid a finger on you, intimidating or threatening you is already bad enough. Purposefully breaking your things adds to that. Him driving recklessly or throwing things may not be intended to hurt you, but they very well could. If he loses control of the car when he's just trying to scare you, his intent doesn't change the outcome. What if he throws something and misses his aim, hitting you instead? And when your baby is big enough to move around, the risks get amplified. I truly hope that you have some kind of support system to lean on, because I promise that you don't want someone like that around your baby. Sincerely, someone with a parent who is like that. Please. 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 Leave. This is 100% abuse and intimidation. He hits the walls now, he will hit you soon. If you, a grown adult with 36 years of life experience, is terrified by your partner's behavior, how do you think a brand new baby with no experience in life is going to feel around it? The baby is going to bring more stress, less sleep and more anxiety. No child deserves to be exposed to that, and neither do you. There is nothing in this world that you could do that would ever make his behavior anything other than abuse. Do not allow him to abuse your child too. I grew up with a father like that. He never physically laid a hand on us,
but it was always terrifying when he'd scream and cuss and throw items around. It is not your fault you didn't do anything to make him act like that. Him blaming you on provoking him is a classic abusive tactic.
You and your baby deserve better than this. I grew up in a house with anger and I would not stay with anyone like that. I couldn't.
My 35F wife made out with her 32F friend at a bachelorette party. How do I 36M handle this?
Hey, everyone. I, 36M, could really use some advice because I'm feeling pretty conflicted and unsure how to process this.
My wife, 35F, and I have been married for 6 years, and we have a young child together.
Recently, she went to a bachelorette party for one of her close friends. From what she told me, it was a wild night with lots of drinking, dancing, and games.
After she came home, she was upfront and admitted that during one of the drinking games, she ended up making out with one of her female friends.
Here's the thing, it wasn't just a quick peck or dare. She told me it lasted a while, long enough that it was more than just a passing joke. According to her, everyone was in a playful mood, and it was all part of the party vibe. She insists it was just a bit of harmless fun and that it didn't mean anything romantic or sexual. She says it was the kind of thing that happened in the moment and was meant to be a laugh for the group. On one hand, I do appreciate her honesty. She came home and told me right away instead of hiding it, which I respect.
She's also emphasized that she has no feelings for this friend and that it was just part of the bachelorette craziness.
But on the other hand, it's hard for me to just brush it off.
Making out with someone, even if it's with a female friend, feels more intimate than I'm comfortable with, especially considering we've built a life and have a kid together.
I'm stuck wondering if I'm overthinking this because it was a party setting, and it wasn't with another guy. Part of me feels like I should just chalk it up to silly fun that got a bit out of hand.
But another part of me feels like this still crosses a line and could be considered cheating, or at least disrespectful to our relationship. So, Reddit, am I overreacting by feeling hurt and uncomfortable about this?
Should I be letting it go because it was just a party game, or do I have a right to feel like this was a bit too far?
How would you handle this situation if you were in my shoes? Any advice would be appreciated, especially since I want to keep our relationship strong while also staying true to what I'm okay with. So if you're in a bar and a bachelorette party shows up, can you make out with one of them in the spirit of fun and keeping the party entertained? You're not overreacting at all, man. That's cheating for sure.
It's cheating. Maybe it didn't mean anything for her, but that doesn't change what it is.
Your feelings are valid, and you aren't overreacting. Does that mean it's okay to her for you to now go and make out with someone else then? Treat it exactly the same way you would treat it if it was with a male. Do yourself a favor. Do not listen to the ridiculous opinions of the people of Reddit.
Talk to your wife, explain how this makes you feel. Reddit people give terrible relationship advice from what I've seen.
My 21F, mom, 55F, wants me to sell my apartment. What would you do?
So my dad before passing away left me,
21F, a 4-bedroom apartment 120 male 2 under my name. It's the one me and my mom, 55F, currently live in. My mom keeps insisting that we have to sell it and buy a smaller apartment that's got tighter security than the one we're living in. It's around 80 male 2 and it's on the 2nd floor, unlike the one we're living in on the 5th floor without an elevator. This apartment holds so many memories. I still feel like my dad's still living with us. I don't have it in me to sell it, especially for a downgrade of an apartment, but my mom's really insisting on it, and is saying she'll leave me if I don't and go live in my grandma's house, which is located in the countryside. I'd much rather die than live there, but seeing how she's already thinking about living there, I don't trust her now not to leave anyways, even if I do sell the house.
I honestly got no idea what to do. You're an adult. She's an adult. If she wants to move out, she can move out.
There's no reason that at 21 you have to still live with your mother.
It's a pretty normal age to start living on your own.
If she does move out, you can get a lodger who can help with bills.
I'm also gonna say this. I think that your dad had a reason for putting the apartment in your name and not your mom's. He probably knew what kind of person she was, and knew what she would do if he put her name on it. She wants you to sell and downsize and try to do what with the extra money from the sale? Thinking face. You're 21, an adult.
Tell her she's welcome to move if she wants to, and you do what you want with your apartment.
If you can manage financially on your own, let her figure it out on her own. There's a reason your dad left the apartment in your name rather than your mother's.
Right now, we don't know why, and that may be a big factor in your decision.
We also have no idea of the underlying financial or inheritance issues. Many places will not allow a widower to be displaced from their marital home. If the inheritance is uncontestable, I would assume its entire value belongs to you. Would the new property be in your name alone? And, if so, would your mother then be your tenant?
Pay you rent? Before you make any decisions about the property you've inherited, I'd check in with a lawyer who could explain the consequences of any decision you'd make.
Girl. Live your life.
Do not sell your apartment. Let her move and you start living.
Sorry for your loss. So she wants you to sell your property to buy her the apartment of her dreams? So what happens if you fall in love and want to start a family? Mom is a grown woman, she can go get her own apartment.